an ex-cop, body fluids, underage children, a wife who was involved. Let's put it up full mass. Let's put his picture up full mass. I would deal with Dennis Wallace Perkins first. 10 months ago, we talked about the wife on the program. And I said then, 10 months ago, I said, I guarantee you the husband is involved. I said it right here on Indisputable. What that evidence has now come out. Now her husband, an ex-deputy, has pleaded guilty to sex crimes. Dennis Wallace Perkins, a 47-year-old former Louisiana sheriff's deputy, will likely spend the rest of his natural life behind bars after admitting to a slew of horrific sex crimes, which reportedly involved 2 child victims, 2 adults, and 1 dog. Yeah, a dog. While Perkins expressed regret for his despicable crimes, he also reportedly wished certain facts would have come to light that would have helped his case. Yeah. Okay, so he's saying, yeah, you know what, Judge, what I did was just bad. I put bodily fluids inside of cupcakes, made children eat it. I got involved with sexual acts, perversion, minors. I did all of these things, but Judge, there's some other things that you need to be aware of. It's insanity. Perkins was sentenced to 100 years. 100 years in state prison on Tuesday after the former sheriff deputy and SWAT commander pleaded guilty to 1 count of second-degree rape, 2 counts of sexual battery of a child, 1 count of video voyeurism, 2 counts of production of pornography involving children under the age of 13, and 1 count mingling of harmful substances, officials announced. What was the body fluid? You can imagine. Yep, that's what it was. Okay? Now, this man was not only a cop, he was a supervising commander over SWAT. This man was over other cops. How depraved do you think these other cops were in his unit? You see, leadership flows down. That's how it works. What other crimes has he done that we are unaware of? Got away with it. He got caught this time. Do you think this was the only time, the first time he's done something this depraved against minors? Of course not. Perkins had originally been facing more than 75 criminal charges when he was first arrested. But prosecutors agreed to drop the dozens of remaining counts in exchange for Perkins agreeing to enter a guilty plea. He is also required to register as a sex offender for the remainder of his life. Now, the most headline-grabbing charge of mingling of harmful substances was when Perkins and his wife, 36-year-old Cynthia T. Perkins, used his semen to season, according to them, cake batter. Yeah, they're sick as hell. We covered her criminality back last February. But to recap, she then served the laced baked goods to students at Westside Junior High School, where Cynthia had been previously employed as an English teacher. Authorities said Perkins filmed himself making the revolting concoction. Cynthia pleaded guilty to charges of second-degree sexual assault, production of child pornography, and conspiracy of mingling those same harmful substances. Specific acts pleaded in her deal included aiding her husband in sexually assaulting a minor and aiding her husband in filming a minor who was bathing. She was sentenced to 41 years in prison, provided she testified against her husband and go to jail. In addition to testimony from victims, investigators reportedly seized a trove of incriminating media when they raided the home of Perkins shared with his wife, recovering more than 2,600 photos, 300 videos depicting illegal content. Assistant Attorney General Barry Milligan reportedly told the outlet that the evidence obtained in the case was, and I quote, the worst he personally had ever scene. Do you know how big a deal that is coming from a prosecutor? It's the worst you have ever seen. Once again, two people, positions of public trust, a commander of a SWAT team and an English teacher of a local high school. There's more. A cop has pleaded guilty to violating the rights of a citizen. Let me take you back to the original video and give you the update. Here it is.
Okay, catching up to him here. Looks like he's gonna pull into West 30 exit. There you go.
Put up his picture full mass. This violent cop was a state trooper at the time in Iowa. That state trooper was accused of assaulting a motorcycle rider during a traffic stop. This was back in 2017. He has finally pleaded guilty to what he did in that video. His name is Robert James Smith, 58 years of age, pleaded guilty to depriving the rights of another individual under the color of law. In his plea agreement, Smith admitted that this intentional act, the open hand palm strike, was with a bad purpose or improper motive to disregard the law and was an unreasonable use of force. A sentencing hearing has not yet been set. If you think he's going to get real time, think again, okay? Let me give you background as to the incident. In 2017, the incident was not publicized until the video footage of the arrest was released in 2019 by the Cedar County Sheriff, Warren Wethington. He released the video footage of the incident after announcing he would no longer book any suspects arrested by that man, Mr. Smith, because of a lack of faith in his credibility. So let's pause here. You have an elected sheriff who goes on record and says, you see, if this guy brings anybody else to my jail, we're gonna let him go because we don't trust the credibility of this trooper. Did the trooper get investigated then? No. Did the trooper have to resign then? No. What other incidents are on record? Well, many, we just don't know about them. That's the reason why the sheriff said no more to this guy, okay? Smith retired from the Iowa State Patrol in 2018, following an internal investigation after 2017. He was later hired as a police officer in Durant, where he was accused of using excessive force against a woman during an arrest. The defense attorney in the Durant case, Eric Tyndall, alleged in a filing that Smith faced more than 24 internal affairs or investigations. Following the video release, Smith was placed on administrative leave from that police department 1 week before he resigned. In addition to the criminal case, talking about the biker, Bryce Yakish, filed a civil suit against Smith in 2019, accusing Officer Smith of violating the rights of privacy, liberty, property, and his right against unreasonable search and seizure. That's according to court records. The petition also claimed Yakish, who was originally charged with eluding law enforcement following his arrest, suffered physical and emotional harm. Prosecutors later dropped those charges after reviewing the video.